All right, I'm back again. Sandy Freshy reporting from my projection field about what I'm learning about invitation and recognition as it pertains to my journey through graduate school, learning to be a clinical mental health counselor. So if you watched the previous two videos, you know that I am very immersed in my studies at this point, and I'm just about to start my last year. Um, I in the last video I talked about how my summer practicum is took shape and what that means for about that, what that showed me about recognition, invitation, and the difference between my mind thinking one thing, expecting one thing, and my splenic authority telling me something else. So this particular video kind of connects to the first video, which was about how I was invited into a graduate assistantship, how I got my tuition paid through a graduate assistantship, and the importance of having opportunities facilitated for me as a projector. So I will be entering into my internship in the fall. And if you aren't familiar with an internship in mental health counseling as a full-time student, it's a big deal. It's a big deal in terms of the amount of time and energy that is required, and the amount of hours, clock hours, that you actually have to put in for that training. So first of all, what's an internship? It's a place, it's an experience where you go to a place where there are other mental health counselors or social workers who can supervise you, and you learn how to become a professional counselor through on-the-job training. So by the end of the 2 semesters of internship, I will have had 600 hours of hands-on experience. At minimum of 240 of those are actually counseling clients one-on-one or in groups. So if you do the math, you know that adds up to maybe like in 2 16-week periods, like 16 hours a week, or sometimes 20, because sometimes you have to stay longer to get your hours because maybe the client load is inconsistent. All right, so projectors. What's the first rule for projectors? We don't have sustainable workforce energy. So here I am preparing for that. In this spring semester, I'm preparing for, by interviewing for practicum and my summer practicum and my fall and spring internship positions, all at once, all in this month of April 2025. So I nailed down the practicum site. That's in part 2. And I thought I would have time over the summer to figure out what I was going to do for internship. But in the back of my mind, I was wondering, like, as a projector without sustainable workforce energy, how was I going to manage 16 plus hours a week on site at a counseling clinic somewhere, and my graduate assistantship, which pays for my tuition and a stipend, a monthly stipend, 20 hours a week of that, plus a 16 hours plus a week of internship, plus 2 other, actually 3 classes, because internship actually has a classroom component as well. That's a lot of hours for a 61-year-old projector. So I had that kind of rolling around inside of me. sort of feeling overwhelmed about the whole thing. I did not want to give up my graduate assistantship for financial reasons, but also because I've really loved being there this semester and contributing. But mainly for like, how am I going to get my tuition paid? Again, I have loans to fall back on, but at my age, I don't want to take out that many loans that I have to pay back. So there are traditionally very few paid internships in this area for clinical mental health counseling students. So that was a problem. The one place that does pay, that I interviewed at for my practicum, which is I talked about in part 2, is a group practice that my mind thought I wanted to be at, but my spleen had other ideas. So that was kind of out for the fall and spring as well. Meanwhile, it kind of almost by magic, I know that, synchronicities are kind of commonplace when you kind of click into you living in your living authentically, living in your design. My supervisor, who is also the department chair, had been working with the Department of, I think it's called Integrated Behavioral Health, and they got a grant. This is kind of independent from me personally at this point, but just as background, they got a grant that would allow clinical mental health counseling students who are ready for their internship to apply for and possibly get a position in an integrated behavioral health setting. So what that means is that particular internship has to do with going to one of the university-owned community clinics and working alongside physicians, nurses, social workers, and for the first time this year, clinical mental health counseling students, medical students, dentists, dental hygienists, the whole gamut, the whole realm of healthcare. And it's a collaborative environment. It's a place to learn how to work holistically, to take the individual and see them holistic, see their medical and their health issues holistically. And it's very, very cutting edge. It is the future of a lot of the way, hopefully, healthcare will go. So I didn't think it was my mind didn't think it was for me. And I kept seeing this flyer on my supervisor's door that she hand created, actually. And my desk is right outside of her office, and I kept seeing it. And I did go to like the information session about this opportunity for counselors. I knew it was highly competitive, and I just didn't know if it was for me. So I talked to like our site coordinator, who, is in charge of our placements. And she said, just keep an open mind, just apply for everything. So I did that. I thought about that. And then I talked to my supervisor, because I knew that if I applied and I got accepted, I couldn't have I couldn't work for her. I could only have one graduate assistantship, which I forgot to mention. This position is a paid position with full tuition and over twice the stipend that I get now. So I get a pay raise and my tuition paid. And those 20 hours that you have to do as a graduate assistant, I think I put that in my first video, if I didn't say it here. Those would actually be done in your internship. So half the time and twice the money for something that I need to do anyway. So when I really thought about it like that, I was a little bit more motivated to apply. And wouldn't you know it, I got picked up for it. I got an email that said, go, here are the places where you need to schedule interviews. We just need to figure out, basically it said, we just need to figure out where we're going to put you. Where's the best fit? So it's like, oh my gosh, wow, that happened like last week. And, you know, I never would have thought the mind doesn't know what the authority knows, right? That this would have been for me. But with every single step that I take in this direction, the better it feels. So, getting back to like the interview process and how that pertains to recognition and invitation. I know that my supervisor put in a good word for me because the coordinator of integrated behavioral health told me that that she was saying really good things about me. So my supervisor facilitated this opportunity for me. Not that was like the deciding factor, but I have that support from behind. And that's really important as a projector to feel into. Like, is there wind from other people at your back? Are there people opening doors or pointing you in directions where maybe as a splenic projector is a line 3, if you have those attributes as well, which maybe you didn't expect. And that's what it feels like to me. Wind at my back from other people who are encouraging me, who see something in me that maybe I don't see in myself, and enabling me to get to those doors that are opening. So I interviewed at 2 places. I just did this today. And again, I have this fine-tuned sense now of understanding what's for me. The first place was with university athletics, and they have like orthopedic physicians and physical therapy, and that's how their healthcare is integrated with like the student athletes. I am the least athletic person. I like to be physical, but I'm not into team sports. But I have some, I have coaching skills and stuff. So I thought, well, don't rule this out. Just go, keep an open mind. I loved the people who interviewed me. I loved who would be my supervisor. I loved, she had a social worker intern with her. The rapport was really good. The environment was not for me. No windows, no nothing. And the more that they described who they worked with and how they interacted with the university community, the more I realized that these weren't my people. Again, it was that flat feeling in my body. It was like me looking for where's the plug for me to plug my energy into, and it just seemed like I would have to contort that plug to make it happen, or twist myself around and use a lot of energy to kind of fit in where maybe I don't fit. So I got that impression, and then like an hour later, I had an interview with the community health clinic. And I had just this morning submitted an assignment for my group process class. It was a group proposal, and I had this clinic in mind when I created this group proposal idea. And it has to do with mindful art, meditation, and working with the underserved population of midlife women who have stress-related health issues. So I was already inspired by that. I walk in, the rapport is instant with the people who were interviewing me, two social workers. And even though it was like a more formal interview, what I noticed again is that they had my resume out. They were asking me things straight from my resume that other people who interviewed me in other places did not do, other than where I decided to do my summer practicum. She did that too. So they were asking me specific things about me that they were interested in knowing more about. I felt relaxed. I felt as they were explaining how they do their work, I recognized that there was a place for me there. And then I got the courage to ask about like the possibility of running a group. And what I ended up doing in a kind of informal and very natural way is I pitched that proposal that I had just submitted to my class for my classwork this morning. I pitched that to them and they liked it. And they thought that the people who make decisions on that would actually welcome it. And I walked away from there with the contrast of like the other interview earlier and that environment, and then this particular environment, which had much more light. It was very open. It was very in terms of like the decor and the design. It was I don't know. It flowed better and it felt better to me. Again, this is an undefined G center thing, I guess. And the environment, again, is like people moving in and out, exchanging information, which is really congruent with my Narrow Valley environment. So that's where we stand. I came back, I emailed the head of the Integrated Behavioral Health Program. I told her that this was my first choice. I wouldn't rule out, I would make the other choice work if I had to, but this is really in alignment with my career goals, my interests, and who I am. So fingers crossed that this is the placement for me, and it was facilitated by my current supervisor, we will end our work in a few weeks, or maybe the end of the summer, depending on funding. But she was the one who facilitated those opportunities by encouraging me, by putting in a good word for me, and really supporting my journey in my development as a student, and supporting my development in my career development as I move forward toward graduation. So let me know what you got from this in terms of what's pertinent for your design, what's pertinent for you, or what stuck out to you in terms of invitation and recognition. And if there's another twist and turn, I may come back with another story time. I know this has been kind of long, and I really appreciate that you have stuck with me. Hope you went to and watched part 1 and part 2, and now you're at part 3. I do have a waiting list for readings, and looking at my schedule this summer, I may open up for a few readings. So if you are wanting to get a look at your human design chart, or you want some mentoring as a projector, go ahead. I'll leave a link down below, and you can get on my waiting list, and you'll be the first ones contacted when I open those spaces up. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I do have some other videos that I will put up that are actually course videos about deconditioning. I just haven't had the time. We just got high-speed internet in the house, so I may do that now because it was taking forever to upload videos before. So yeah, things do come together when you live your design and your aura is shining the right frequency of light and energy that is a true reflection of who you are. So just remember that as you move forward, and shine your lovely projector or generator or manifester or reflector or manifesting generator light into the world as you have your personal experiment in your field of energy and your life. So until the next time, be well.